Welcome back, Patriots. Woo! To another episode of the Bald Brad Show. That coffee's strong. Damn. What did I blend today? Woo! Well, welcome back, and I hope all of you had a lovely weekend. A lot going on, a lot of news to cover. Democrats are blaming everybody and everything other than Gavin Newsom and Karen Bass, the leadership in California, for the fire. I can't tell you how insane things are right now. And, well, we got a lot of video clips. We got a lot of articles that just show the receipts. And buckle up, let me tell you. It's good to see everybody on this fine morning. And, folks, we got a week. We got a week till Mr. 45, soon to be 47, I guess technically is 47, back in office and start getting stuff, in line. Whipping things back into shape a little bit here. So if you could support us by hitting that like and subscribe button, mostly the like button, it really does help. If you feel like we deserve your subscription, well, that'll be helpful as well. Now, have patience with me today, because when I say I got 50 something tabs open on my screen, I legitimately mean it. So give me a little bit of a moment to make sure it's the right clip, it's the right tab, just so I could take care of all of you. And you could take care of me that way. So that'd be greatly appreciated. Well, as I mentioned, you saw in the thumbnail, the title is Who's to Blame? And Democrats, they're blaming everybody else. I mean, Trump, racism, yes, really. Just some really random stuff. They're also telling you that they were prepared for this. No, you weren't. You're never prepared for these fires. I want everybody in the chat to know, and everybody watching this, that I've lived here my entire life, other than maybe like 2 years. I lived in Washington, D.C. for a couple of years. Other than that, lived here my entire life. So check this out. Biden's FEMA chief, California was very prepared for the fires. So this is what we're going to do. Yeah, this is what we're going to do here, folks. We're just going to make stuff up because that's what they do. If you recall, we did an episode about a week and a half ago, maybe 2 weeks ago at this point, where it was old lies, new stories. Well, what's the old lie here is that they're prepared. And the new story is everybody's house is burned down. That's the new story. Old lies. Once again, everything's fine. Nothing to see here, folks. No, we were prepared for this. You weren't. You didn't even have any water. You had no water to freaking put out fires.
The winds themselves are rare for this particular time of year. But Los Angeles and the area, they got a lot of experience with wildfires. They have a lot of regulation and a large firefighting force. Do you have a sense at this point why the area was so unprepared?
I think that they were very prepared. This is something that they are very used to. They fight fires all the time, but they have never seen 100-mile-an-hour winds that are fueling the fire. And those winds and that weather condition is what really impacts, where this fire is going to go, but more importantly, how they're able to try to contain it in those first few hours and days. And because it was in such a populated area, it just makes it that much more challenging to be able to get in there and secure the perimeter, but as well try to save as many homes as possible.
So
you heard it from the horse's mouth. Yeah, they were prepared. No, they weren't. They want to see it in the Dems want to see it in a transcript. Sorry, no, yeah, because these don't work very well. Neither do these, meaning I'm pointing at my eyes. I think that they were very prepared. No, she said it right here. It's right there, plain as day. I mean, we all heard and saw it for our own eyes, but remember how I said you could hold up a red pen and they'll tell you it's blue, and if you don't believe them, well, you're a conspiracy theorist and all these other things. I live here. Now, very rarely I'm like, oh, you got to live my experience to know what I'm feeling and thinking. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is I've seen all of this disaster with my own eyes for, I don't know, probably 2 decades now at this point. The politicians in the state, they suck. Everybody knows they suck. And for some reason, they just keep voting in these idiots. Now, when I say there's a blame game going on, I really do mean that. They're blaming just everything. You're going to see they're blaming racism. And here, Maxine Waters is blaming rich people for the fire now.
I
this
agree with
business
you.
about Democrats or Republicans. Get the information up on the screens. Where can you go
I
in
agree.
Altadena? Where can you go in Pasadena? Where can you go in Malibu? Where can you go in the Palisades? Where can you go in San Fernando Valley? They don't know. They're looking for help, and that's what we should be dedicated to.
I agree.
And you too.
We are doing it. We will continue to do it. I think you are right. However, it can also be seen that you don't want to talk about the politics because it's on your party, because the mayor and the governor are Democrats who arguably should have had the people in Altadena better prepared for this. They should have the
Whoa, okay, hey. Okay, Chris, I don't like you, but I wasn't ready for that. Well done, sir. Thank you.
resources more available so they don't need me to put them up because the state has been
She's in a defensive stance.
Doing the work. And that they've been preparing the situations for wildfires like they were made aware of.
This motherfucker.
Instead of cutting deals with PG&E and insurance companies, they would have prepared the state. That is not unfair criticism. Is it too soon? Maybe, but the questions are real.
Let me tell you something. I'm not in the business of protecting anybody. And I think that my work over protecting anybody. Let me tell you something. I'm not in the business of protecting anybody. And I think that my work over the years that I've been involved have been absolutely on point.
For those that are just joining us, Maxine Waters, a Democrat from my state, pulls the joker. I'm not helping anybody. Jesus Christ, dude. I feel like I live in Gotham. He's a man of his word.
In dealing what has to be dealt with in order to help the people. First thing you got.
Yo, I was doing satire. Help the people! Jesus, dude.
Got to understand is services cost money. And we should be willing to get the richest people in this country, the richest 1% that is protected, make sure they pay their fair taxes so that we can have the money to provide the services. With that money and with those resources, the people who have been selected or elected to do the job should do the job. I don't care who it is. It could be Democrat, it could be Republican, it could be whatever. But the fact of the matter is, we all should have heavy hearts right now.
There's a lot of you that have been watching the show for a while. How many years have we been saying that they will blame everybody else other than looking at themselves? It's rich people's fault. It's racism's fault, which you're going to see in a moment. It's this or that. No, Maxine, it's your idiots' faults because you were elected to be our leaders to keep us safe. That is a portion of it. Welcome to government. And the other aspect of is, you know, there's fires every single year. How do I know? I lived here and still do. And I know when things are going to get hot. I know when there's going to be fires. I know when it's going to be windy. There's a reason why we all know the Santa Ana winds. It happens every year practically. Isn't that a remarkable clip that everything you just got? I hadn't seen that. That was my first grab at it. Holy Lordy. So now you would think that these celebrities would start blaming Gavin Newsom, right? Their houses were burned down. Folks, these aren't like $500,000 houses. They're not like $1 million. Some of these houses are $23, $30 million properties. So they're not small houses. Some of these people just lost everything. They're not moving back in. Some of these people are not moving back in because they're not all celebrities, right? They're just average Joes like you or I. I don't know how much I want to say average when they're multi-millionaires, but here nor there. Some of these people are not moving back in. It's not feasible to rebuild. Some of them got these properties handed down to them from their families or whatever it is, and they don't have enough money to build another $5 million plus home. So these actresses are standing on the street here and blaming not Karen Bass, but racism for what happened.
And she's got a spine of steel. Yes. And she's also been a black woman in America very.
They're talking about Karen Bass, the lady that wasn't even here while their houses burned down. She was off in a whole nother country.
Let me tell you something. She's got a spine of steel. Yes. And she's also been a black woman in America a very long time. So none of this is new to her. We're mad because we're tired of it. We're tired for her. But we're mad for her. And we're going to stand. Listen, I don't know how you here, but I'm happy you're here. Because somebody needs to
stand, behind her and support her. Because how is she handling it? You can see it in her face. She stays calm. But think about this. She has the city to take care of. She does not have time to hear from these reporters.
And she is also not mayor of every municipality in California. Yes. There are people that are mad that she didn't fix the fires in Malibu. She's not the mayor of Malibu.
You're right.
What is she supposed to do in a city she's not the mayor of?
People don't understand.
And let me say this too. I could imagine how much it would hurt to see this happening in the city that she loves. That's first. So take away how it feels for people to attack her. She's heartbroken because this is happening in her city, a city that she loves.
And the people don't understand. They don't understand how large it is because a lot of people are sitting in other parts of the city. They're not in it. They're not in the fire. They're not in the smoke. They don't see. They're not there. They're watching TV. Why? And they want to blame someone. This is not the time to blame. It's time to get some resources. She has reached out far. We have planes coming in from other countries to help us. This is not the time. I need everybody to remain calm,
need to leave her alone and let her do her work. Just let her do her work.
The leadership.
Support Karen.
Yeah, we're supposed to leave her alone and let her do her work. And if you say anything negative about her, guess what? You are all. Yeah, you're racists. This is. I don't know what to say, guys. This is crazy. This is the state that I live in. You could say, Brad, get the hell out of there. Look, maybe we'll see. I know a lot of you live around the country. If you got a nice place that is welcoming some patriots, let me know. I'm looking. This is nuts. Well, you just need to leave her alone so she could do her work. We did. And now people are dead, you idiots. People's houses are burned down because we left them alone so that they could do their job. But clearly we can't leave them alone because they're not doing their job. But it's all because of racism. It's not because she's a terrible leader. It's not because she has her head up her, you know what. It's all because you guys are a racist. Yeah, no, that's really what it's about. It's honestly, it's mind blowing. You try to wrap your head around it. So now we're doing the blame game, right? Oh, it's this person, right? Maxine Waters doesn't want to. It's not her job to keep people safe, by the way. You heard her read it. You heard FEMA say that they were prepared, which they weren't. They had no water and they did not clear any of the brush. They'd done nothing other than remove stuff from the budget. Well, a man was detained with a blowtorch near wildfires. ID as a what? An illegal immigrant. Not charged with arson. Huh. The man with a blowtorch who was arrested last week in Los Angeles area, where a number of the wildfires have wreaked havoc over the past several days, is an illegal immigrant from Mexico, according to the new report. I'm going to tie this together. I promise you I am. It's bonkers. Fox News reporter Bill, I always butcher his last name. Well, everybody knows Bill. He said, per ICE sources, the man seen in a viral video being subdued by residents and arrested by police with a blowtorch near the Kenneth Fire in West Hills is an illegal alien from Mexico named Juan Manuel Sierra Leva. He is in custody on a probation violation and has not been charged. Now, am I surprised? No, not one bit. But remember, they were prepared. Racism. It's rich people's fault. They're not paying their fair share. And now we have illegal immigrants with blowtorches, potentially, allegedly, maybe burning down the state that I live in. Now, if anybody saw the clip of the 3 starting wildfires, they all started at the exact same time. And when I mean the exact same time, I'm talking as literal as I can. So you would think, hey, you know what? Maybe they would put more funding into forestry to clean up our forests, at least the dead stuff, remove the dead trees, do something, please. And no, what they would rather do is give illegal immigrants our health care. So there was this, All I could say is California is spending $2.6 billion per year in healthcare alone for illegal immigrants. I'm going to say that number again because it came out of my mouth a little quickly and it's morning. California alone is spending $2.6 billion on illegal immigrants' healthcare alone.
The thing is, for sanctuary cities and states, they complain about the cost, but they continue to add services. I want to show you California. As of yesterday, California has added a health care benefit for migrants. They are now going to extend free health care to migrants between the ages of 26 and 49. That's going to cover 700,000 additional people and cost the state $2.6 billion each year. Now, that's added onto that's added onto California's deficit, which is already $68 billion.
Don't worry. Yeah, no, it's the rich people's fault. It's racism's fault. They're prepared for everything. They can't even budget, you guys. This is why I say when you have somebody that's running for president or vice president or is leaving our state to do something in the federal government, you have to be pleading to our Lord and Savior that that doesn't happen. The state can't budget. That's why Kamala Harris couldn't budget her campaign, because where's she at? She's from my knucklehead state, California. This is this is basically what Trump was asking for in 2016 for the border wall. But we don't have it. Yeah, we don't have it. When I say we don't have it in California, you just heard her say how many billions of dollars we are in a deficit. So what are they going to do? They're going to throw more money at the problem that we don't have. And then they're going to complain that the billionaires, the millionaires aren't paying enough money for forestry or whatever it is, because we got to cut the budget. You got to move the money somewhere because states can't print money. They're not going to get it from the federal government. In this case, I guess we are for the cleanup. But yo, and I'm telling you, I have proof that there is no. I will show you the receipts. You have to understand when I say that this is not enough for Democrats to vote red or get Gavin Newsom out of office. I mean that in the most literal sense. There's people online that are kissing this guy's feet, licking the gunk between his toes, thanking him. It's a cult, man. This people's whose houses, $30 million houses just burned down, are so thankful to him. It's the wildest thing I've seen maybe in politics, and I've been doing this for quite some time. Don't worry, we will get there, folks. Just buckle up one bit. So you have that, right? You have the illegal immigrants getting $2.6 billion every year just on healthcare. That doesn't include the rental assistance they're getting, any fees that they're being supported on, meaning like lawyers, schooling, all that stuff. I can't tell you the billions upon billions of dollars we're spending here as a state. So check this out. This all connects. Fresno anti-deportation protests disrupt traffic. Hundreds of protesters over the weekend. And I was on TikTok and this was live all weekend. Does anybody see an American flag there? I see one that's split in half. There's one split in half again, touching the floor. Lovely. So there's one here split in half and it's touching the ground. If anybody knows anything, you're not supposed to let the flag touch the ground. And there was another one split in half. It's not about this country. If you are going to be in this country, wave the country's flag, not the country of which you fled from, you knuckleheads. Because if that country was so great, I'm gonna mute it so it doesn't blow your guys' eardrums out. If this country was so great, you wouldn't be here right now, would you? This lady has it right. She has it getting together. There's another one in the back. So some of them have their head on straight. Stop waving this flag. You didn't like that place, hence why you're here. Why you are here. If this place was so great, you should go back there. And I even mean that for myself. If I always say we live in the greatest country that's ever existed. If I didn't think so, I would go there. When I am saying California is a dumpster fire, before it was a dumpster. And now it literally is a fire. And yes, I have been looking at where to go. Okay, it's all part of my plan. I don't just do things like a dumbass Democrat. Go, this sounds good. Let me just get up and move here. No, you plan this stuff out, and it takes years of preparation because I'm not a dumbass that likes to decide to do things off my feelings and emotions. And when I get an idea and go, let's do it. It's true. So here they are. They don't want people to be deported is what it is. Let me do this view for you. Deport the racists with the American flag on it. F mass deportation. Don't bite the hands that feed you. No blank is illegal stolen on stolen land. It's freaking insane. It's insane. I really don't. I don't know what more we could do or say. I want to share this with you. Remember how I said at the beginning of today's show that Democrats love just anything to do with Democrat? I don't know. I'm trying to figure out a way I can rationalize this. I don't think there is. Failure of Democrat leadership led to your $30 million house burning down. Everything. Your whole world just left, other than people dying. So Gavin gets on, this was on TikTok, but it was other places too. He posts this, right? He talks about the containment of the fires. Who cares? I care about what's written down here. Let me just read you what people are saying. You have been the epitome of leadership throughout this crisis. That's the top comment. Stay strong and keep fighting. Prayers from Jersey. Thank you for your empathy and action during a time of great loss. You showed tireless leadership when others tried to bash and couldn't show empathy. Narcissistic people never do. I tell you guys, I don't pull this stuff out of my you-know-what. Usually I've seen it from time and time again before I say something on the podcast. Stay strong, Governor. Blue Heart. Thank you for your leadership. Thank you for your strong and steadfast leadership. Wow, great job, Gavin. You're the best. He has a little smirk, but that might be legit. Thank you for your leadership. Thank you for your true leadership. They're not going to recall the guy. They're not going to do anything. If this was a Republican, like DeSantis, J.D. Vance, hell, Marco Rubio, it doesn't matter who it is. This would be screen-to-screen failure of leadership. Like you've never seen before. And you know what? They would have been right. They would have been right. But because it's a Democrat, they're going to blame racism. They're going to blame the rich people for not paying their fair share. They're going to uplift the illegal immigrants. Remember that video I posted over the weekend where I said they're getting all our money while everything's burning down? Everything is literally burning down. And instead of giving the people in California the $2.6 billion that you're giving the health care for the illegal immigrants, how about give that to the people that just had their houses burned down? I don't know if this is I'm trying to figure it out. I hand the God, I spent the weekend going, okay, how can people be this stupid? There's no freaking way that people are NPCs like this. There are. This has to be a failure of the education system. What I mean by that is like somehow you made it from birth to 18 years old. And there's no connection and understanding of a multivariate analysis of seeing all the variables into something and going, yeah, we're spending all this money here and here and here and here. Maybe we should take some of that money that's given by taxpayers and help people here that paid it. That's their money. I'm doing a good job, man. If you want to know inside, I am livid right now. I am so mad, and I just don't want to do what I did the other day where I'm cussing on camera, yelling, and you know what? It just... I'm just reading the chat. I'm sorry. I'm trying to blow some steam right now, man. If you could you hit the like button if you're enjoying the show? Brad holding it together. Yeah, I mean, look, you know, in a sense, I feel defeated because a part of me doing this, there's a lot of variables of why I do the show, mostly because I have fun doing it. I get to hang out with all you guys. I keep saying that all the time because it's true. I feel defeated because I don't see people waking up. And it's frustrating because you try to wonder, when I talk about variables, you know, things that affect an outcome, variables, like an explanatory variable that affects a response variable. And there's a lot of them. I'm just wondering, what is the variable for Democrats to go, yeah, we got to get this guy out? Like, what does he have to do for somebody to go, yeah, man, dude, maybe I should start rethinking this whole thing. Yeah, maybe Democrat's not the idea. And if it is, man, maybe Gavin's just not the answer. I don't know. That's the mind-blowing thing. I mean, if you lost everything, and this is why I'm having trouble rationalizing this. If you lost everything due to somebody's lack of leadership, the only thing left is for somebody to die. And even then, I'm not so sure that they would change their voting behavior. Now, obviously, I'm not talking about them dying, but maybe like a relative or a family or friend going, oh shit, well, I just lost dad. Like, I still think they would kiss his feet, go, you're the best leader ever. This is like some North Korea Kim Jong-un shit, dude, where the guy could do anything, blow his uncle's head off, and you're still going, yeah, he's so good. It's so freaking crazy as shit, dude. I'll probably see in my lifetime. So JD Vance comes out, somebody with their head on straight, and rips serious lack of competent governance. It's amazing how the right sees it and the left is completely oblivious and blind to it. So JD Vance condemned the serious lack of competent governance in California as firefighters in Democrat-led state try to fend off wildfires that have devastated places around the city of Los Angeles over the past week. Correct. That's exactly what happened. And I want to make sure I get the clip for y'all. Hold on one second. Remember, there's a lot of tabs. Patience, please, patience. All right, here we go.
Criticize the governor of California for, I think, some very bad decisions over a very long period of time. I mean, some of these reservoirs have been dry for 15, 20 years. The fire hydrants are being reported as going dry while the firefighters are trying to put out these fires. There is a serious lack of competent governance in California, and I think it's part of the reason why these fires have gotten so bad. We need to do a better job at both the state and federal level. I mean, you can't criticize the governor of California for, I think, some very bad decisions over a very long period of time. I mean, some of these reservoirs have been dry for 15, 20 years. The fire hydrants are being reported as going dry while the firefighters are trying to put out these fires. There is a serious lack of competent governance in California, and I think it's part of the reason why these fires have gotten so bad. We need to do a better job at both the state and federal level. I mean, you can't...
Yes. Yeah. I'm not just agreeing with him because he's vice president and that he's a Republican. He's just telling you the truth. Look, if it was a Republican that was running the state and this happened under, and the guy kept not doing his job and he couldn't build a freaking road and he can't do anything and he's in a massive deficit, I would still be complaining. Why? Because my head works some of the time. Some of the time. Holy Lordy. I want to give a shout out to somebody in the chat. Actually, two people. Sunset gave a donation over at baldbrad.com, so greatly appreciate you. Thank you so much for that donation. And folks, we got a big viewership here on the Bald Brad Show, meaning there's people in other people's podcasts that see all of you in there. Now, this person's not going to know of how I know this, but I know this. I want to give a shout out to Q1969. I got a screenshot sent to me of Q in somebody else's podcast on YouTube, plugging the Bald Brad Show. Hell yeah. Thank you, Q, for that. Wanted to make sure I give you a shout out. Q was in somebody else's show saying, hey, check out the Bald Brad Show, 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Dude brings the receipts. Thank you for doing that. I greatly appreciate that. That's how we're going to make a difference in how people can find us, is because the Bald Brad Army is sending people to the podcast. And it's small things like that that do a massive effort in helping me out. So thank you so much. Also, a massive effort in helping somebody else out. Well, that's Rumble, folks. This sponsorship is from Rumble, and one that is incredibly important to the survival of the company. When Rumble first started in 2013, we have talked about this. They built a platform for small creators such as myself, and they didn't censor or have any biases. They were fair and treated everybody equally. No one thought platforms would censor political censorship, conversation, or censor opinions on COVID, but they did. I mean, Facebook admitted to it, and not just previously on the Joe Rogan podcast, but like again, as of this week. But they did. Facebook admitted to it, and they fell to the pressure of the Biden-Harris administration, but Rumble did not. They held the line, baby, but they are attacked daily for giving us a voice to talk to all you fine patriots. They are attacked in corporate media. They're attacked by governments like France. They are attacked by brand advertisers who refuse to work with them, which is a massive problem when you're trying to run a company, a media company, and you don't have advertisers. Where are you supposed to get the money from, folks? Corporate America is fighting to remove free speech. Rumble is fighting to keep it. Rumble won't survive with brand advertisers. They don't get much of it. Watching our show on Rumble is the most they can ask from you. But if you really believe in this fight, and if you have the means, one major way you can help Rumble survive is by joining Rumble Premium. Join the community that believes in the First Amendment and believes in our human right to free speech, baby. Rumble is offering $10 off with promo code STUDIO. Promo code STUDIO when you purchase an annual subscription. Go to rumble.com/premium and use promo code STUDIO. Like I said, folks, if you have the means and the willpower, baby, please support Rumble Premium. If you don't, you just watching here is the most ideal way. And I do want to emphasize our join tab is working over at Rumble. So if you want to move that subscription over from YouTube to Rumble, it's going to just take you on Rumble to our locals tab. That's how they do their subscriptions. You can do it over there and screw these commies over at YouTube because they are shadow banning our channel. Big time. Big time. We got that there. Now we also have Jen Psaki, the former White House press secretary, the circle back girl that got hired by a left-wing news outlet. Shocker. Well, instead of talking about the raging fires that are going on, where people are dying, allegedly illegal immigrants are starting them, what else is going on? People are blaming racism and everything else. Instead of blaming the incompetence of Gavin Newsom, Karen Bass, Maxine Waters, all these Dems, she's talking about them, meaning Donald Trump and Elon Musk. Check this out.
How to mitigate and prevent disasters like this in the future. Fact is, leaders will need to confront a very complicated and challenging reality moving forward. But right now, that is not exactly what is happening. Instead, Donald Trump and his allies are injecting half-truths, misinformation, and flat-out lies in some cases in order to score a version of political points, I suppose. We saw something similar play out just this past October in the aftermath of Hurricanes Helene and Milton, when Trump repeatedly lied about FEMA spending disaster relief funds on migrants, which didn't happen. Also baselessly claiming that the Biden administration was absent and incompetent in delivering aid, despite what elected officials of both parties on the ground said. Those lies were then spread and amplified by the richest man in the world on the social media site that he owns. So I guess none of us should have been shocked this week when Elon Musk posted that the Los Angeles Fire Department prioritized DEI over saving lives and homes. That's an exact quote. That appeared to be a disgusting dig at the city's fire chief, Kristen Crowley, who has served in the department for decades, rising through the ranks to become the first female and LGBTQ fire chief in LA's history. Musk also amplified a post this week from...
Isn't this crazy? Democrat leadership is burning down entire areas, and she's going to sit there and blame these two guys for misinformation. It's so wild.
Conspiracy theorist Alex Jones. Yes, that guy. He's still around. Alex Jones wrote that Los Angeles fires are part of a larger globalist plot to wage economic warfare and deindustrialize the United States before triggering total collapse. I mean, not sure that guy's okay. Musk responded to that post by writing, true. Yes, just to repeat here, that's just the richest man in the world and the best friend of the incoming president confirming to his 200 million followers that he thinks the devastating wildfires are a part of a globalist plot.
You know what's weird? And I keep saying this again. There could be some truth to it. That's the thing. They're acting like 100% of what Alex Jones said is going to be connected to the outcome of whatever he's talking about. That's not how people function, and that's not even how the world functions. There's a lot of variables that go into the outcome of something being produced. I'll make something up really stupid. Making a pencil. One variable would be the graphite. One variable would be the wood. Another variable would be the rubber for the eraser. Another variable would be the metal for the little band that goes around the rubber. And the other one would be the paint. Those are all variables that go into producing a pencil. It's the same thing for any outcome. There's usually a lot of variables that could be associated and connected to said response variable or whatever output's being produced. And what she's doing, and I think a lot of people aren't capable of doing, is seeing that one of the facets, one of the variables that Alex Jones might be referring to here is these globalists pushing through ESG scores and wanting to push a great reset from Davos, from the World Economic Forum, which is their own words, Jen Psaki, and he's collecting it or connecting it to the wildfires that are taking place, to what the World Economic Forum is doing, and the push from these global elites to want to destroy this country and remove fossil fuels. There is some connection there. I'm not saying the guy is 100% making this one variable bada bing, bada boom. But if you're not able to make any sort of connection from that, massive problem. So we saw JD Vance making complete sense. Then you got Jen Psaki wanting to completely circumvent what's actually happening. And instead of going after the misinformation, disinformation, the lack of freaking leadership from the Democrat Party, she's going to go all the way over here to Washington, D.C. to the federal government, meaning Donald Trump, JD Vance, Elon Musk, and the whole brigade over there, and blame them for the things that they said and done, rather than the people at the local and state level who actually have a direct impact on people. Insane. So somebody else with their head on straight, and who's freaking gorgeous, by the way, is Kayleigh McEnany. I wish as much as you guys do that we could have had her as White House press secretary. We can't get everything we asked for, unfortunately, but God, I would have wished a part two.
And at this point, how can you trust the government? I mean, we've learned the modus operandi of Democrats. And what is that? It's divert responsibility and point to shiny objects. And divert responsibility, Gavin Newsom was asked by Anderson Cooper 2 days ago, why are the fire hydrants running dry? He said, oh, ask a local official. Could you imagine DeSantis doing that during a hurricane? No, he stepped in, fixed the Pine Island Bridge in 3 days. Gavin Newsom just points to local officials. Then he puts out a letter just moments ago, and the letter says, I'm demanding answers on the water. You're the leader of California. You are the chief executive. And then he goes on with Biden and talks about misinformation. This blew my mind because I remembered the Washington Post story that came out a week ago. Do you want to know Biden's biggest regret? Not Afghanistan, not inflation, not all of his failures. It's not combating misinformation. It's the same line they used after Hurricane Helene when he sat there with Kamala Harris after their failed response, and he said, misinformation, disinformation. That's the playbook. Say misinformation when the hard truth is this. You may have a playbook. The hard truth, progressive leadership fails during times of crisis. East Palestine, Hurricane Helene, this wildfire.
I got nothing to add. She's completely correct. So this is kind of what she was talking about here a little bit. Newsom asks Biden to combat criticism over his disastrous fire response. California Governor Gavin Newsom asked Joe Biden during a video conference call on Friday afternoon to combat criticism over his disastrous response to the wildfires that erupted this week. I ask you, we've got to deal with this misinformation. The only way to deal with that misinformation that they're talking about is by trying to censor your asses. And how do we know that actually was taking place? Well, because Zuckerberg came out and actually told us again that they were doing this, that the Biden administration would scream at his staff to remove posts, to censor posts, and do all these other things. That's why people now, conservatives, are all of a sudden doing really well on Facebook. If you think that's not happening in my channel, could somebody explain to me what is going on with my channel? I'm not complaining here. It's just we all see it. We all know what's going on. We all know that people are struggling. My own subscribers are struggling finding my channel. People have to look for it that are subscribed to the channel. There were hurricane force winds of misinformation and disinformation, lies. People want to divide this country, and we're going to have to address that as well, he claimed. And it breaks my heart as people are suffering and struggling that we're up against those hurricane forces as well. And that's just a point of personal privilege that I share with you because it infects real people that are out there. People I meet every single day, people the mayor has been meeting with, and they're having conversations that are not the typical conversations you have at this time. And you wonder where this stuff comes from. And it's very damaging as well. We don't wonder where it comes from, Gavin. It just comes from your history. It comes from history that you guys try to revise all the time and that you're trying to actively revise now. So when we say that the fire department practices DEI initiatives, which is a fact that they do, they're on camera admitting to it, and we have verifiable documents, we are deemed again as conspiracy theorists and misinformationists and disinformationists, that we're creating cheap fakes and deep fakes like you saw from Karine Jean-Pierre. How many times do we end up being right? I told you all, this is a white cup. I understand there's black on it, but this is a white cup, okay? Yes, it is. Democrats will tell you it's a red cup. And if you don't believe it, even though I'm a podcaster saying, no, it's a white cup with black stuff on it. No, that's a red cup. If you don't agree with us, you are a misinformation, disinformationist. That is exactly what you are. That's what they're doing, dude. And it's bonkers. I know it's a stupid analogy, but it still gets the job done explaining what the hell's going on here. I'm not even going to bother playing the stupid clip of him talking in front of Joe Biden, who's drooling into a drip tray all over the Resolute desk. Not doing that. Now, you also have this here where justice will be swift. LA District Attorney promises to bring down hammer on looters. I don't believe this one bit. There's people that have been looting for years. Years. The smash and grabs. Remember the two black chicks standing outside of what looked like to be like a CVS or something with they're holding on to their groceries because the Democrats wanted to get rid of plastic bags because we're polluting. So now we got to carry all our shit everywhere like this. They blamed the fires. For those just joining us, Democrats are blaming the fires on racism. We showed the clip. We already played it. You just missed the beginning of the show. They're blaming the fires on racism. Now, the mind-blowing thing is probably that store that they're standing in front of has been looted many times through smash and grabs. Those smash and grabs, that Prop 47 was instituted and put in place because Democrats thought it was racism. That was the cause of all these things. Oh, you're just throwing black men behind bars because of systematic racism. So we need to let people steal stuff. No, race has nothing to do with people looting stuff. I don't care if they're white, black, Hispanic, Asian. I don't care what you are. You could be a freaking alien from Mars. If you're stealing stuff that doesn't belong to you, I don't like that. And you should be thrown in jail for it. But no, they don't. They can't see multivariate analysis. They can't. So they don't even throw people in jail for that. You think they're going to throw? Can you imagine if it was an illegal immigrant that lit all this stuff on fire? You think they're really going to throw that guy in the jail? Really? They're trying to harbor criminals right now in the state of California. Gavin Newsom is actively fighting Donald Trump's ICE director, Tom Homan, to harbor sex criminals that have raped little girls and keep them in the state of California. That's not DEI. That's not misinformation. That is pure fact. The dude is working to keep fentanyl trafficking happening in the state of California, where it's killing thousands of people in this state. And nobody on the Democrat side of the aisle is waking up to this. They are cool with all of this. The garbage on the ground, the streets completely being littered, no infrastructure, being in a deficit, allowing illegal aliens to rape your children. They're allowing freaking the homeless to set fire to encampments. They're allowing people to burn our cities down. People's $30 million homes are gone. People have died. There's no water. There's no forestry. They're giving illegal aliens $2.9 billion in healthcare when we're like $25 billion in a deficit. I think it's way more than that, by the way. I think they might have said 60 billion or some crazy number. He's lost $40 million multiple times. He's failed audits. He doesn't know how to craft a budget. What has Gavin Newsom done that's good for the state? You guys, I'm beating this like it's a dead horse because guess who's going to try to run for president in 2028? And if you don't think there's a real possibility that he might win, it's the same thinking the Democrats have, man. There's a good possibility that Gavin Newsom, a guy who allowed people to have their houses burned down because he doesn't have his head so far up as you know what, is going to run for the president of the United States in 2028, most likely, up against Kamala Harris, who is just as bad, by the way. And millions of people will vote for it. I'm not even gonna bother reading this. I think it says enough. The attorney's going to go out there and he's going to pretend like he's the attorney general all of a sudden and start locking people up. Well, you got a Republican here, Senate Majority Whip, said during an interview over the weekend that if Congress approves any U.S. taxpayer money to help aid in the recovery of the historic fires in California, that it will come with strings attached because of how poorly Democrats have mismanaged fires. Well, if they're going to send money to California, they need to send money to Hawaii. They need to send money to South Carolina, Georgia. They need to send money everywhere. Now, they're not building people's homes. That is misinformation, disinformation. The money that's coming from the federal government, the 100% of cleanup, is not going to rebuilding people's homes. It's going towards cleaning up, bulldozing, and all those other things. I think everything should have been provided to South Carolina, Florida. I don't care who you are. If you're an American that went through a natural disaster, we should be taking our money. That's what it's there for, to help other Americans, not give $2.9 billion to illegal immigrants, not pay for everything for them and then screw over us.
Do you expect, though, that Congress and Republicans will still help these Americans in need, even if they don't like their local politics and the party?
I expect that there will be strings attached to money that is ultimately approved, and it has to do with being ready the next time, because this was a gross failure this time.
Do you
want to know the other kick in the nuts here? And how blind Democrats are? I know I'm repeating myself, they had their houses burned down. Okay? Insurance companies aren't going to cover this. They have nowhere to live. Some of them do. The celebrities do, right? All those other. Remember, not all these people are celebrities. They're just average Joes like us. Maybe had their house given to them through like a trust or something, or their parents passed it down to them. They have nowhere to live. But guess who does? Guess who does have a place to live? These illegal immigrants. Yeah. Guess who's getting nice meals? Illegal immigrants. Yeah. Guess who's getting lawyer fees, insurance, and all that? Legal immigrants. So, yeah, fuck right, I'm laughing. They'll still vote for it. They're all for it. That's okay. You don't belong here. Go ahead and take that hotel room. I'll sleep on the streets. At no point am I even joking here. No, stay in the hotel room. I'm a racist white person. I was told so by my own party. No, you deserve that more than I do. Oh, you want me to pay for your meal too? Oh, yeah. Oh, what am I doing out here on the street? Oh, my house just burned down. Yeah, hold on. I'm looking for my wallet. Oh, shit, that burned in the fire too. Sorry, you want the clothes off my back? Oh, okay, yeah, sure, no problem. Not far off from true reality. Now, they said DEI is not the issue here. Yeah, a 100-pound woman in the fire department for Los Angeles is going to carry you out, Pat. Is Shib in here? The only reason I'm pointing out Shib's a big dog, not in a bad way. Shib's just a freaking burly dude from the United Kingdom. I want to see, I will pay $1,000, and I'm not kidding. I want to see a 100-pound woman carry Shib's ass out of his house. Pat, if you're open, how much do you weigh? Because I'll even say my weight. I'm 205. I'm not a super small guy. I want to see a 100-pound woman that was hired by the Los Angeles Fire Department to carry my ass down some flights. I want to out of my room, and I'll be limp. That's what she said. Okay, Pat's 208. So we're not going to use you, Pat, because I'll put on extra pounds so I can save the money. Well, DEI is a problem, not just in California, but Virginia residents left without water as pro-DEI water manager sits at the helm. This is all misinformation, you guys. Remember, according to the Biden-Harris administration, as well as Jen Psaki, that dumbass over at MSNBC, this is all fake. Yeah, this is all, look at this. Oh, isn't that fun? Isn't that fun? Everybody has their hands. They're all... Do you notice that they took the right-handed and made sure they included left-handed people just so it's of equal proportion? I guarantee you there's the correct proportion of left-handed to right-handed people on this map, just as there is in the population of the United States. After a snowstorm in Richmond, Virginia, I didn't even know Richmond, Virginia got snowstorms. That's a joke, by the way. I've been there. It gets hot as hell, too. Without water, all eyes are on the director of the city's Department of Public Utilities, a diversity, equity, and inclusion proponent who has overseen basically the destruction of the city's water infrastructure. April was named Richmond's utility chief by former Democrat mayor, LeVar Stoney in December 2021. 1 year and 11 months as deputy director of the department's customer service division. No way! Oh, climbing the ladders. I'm not that can be a hard job at times. All I'm saying is this lady went from customer service to running the freaking people's water. Well, there's your problem right there. So anyways, they were doing DEI hiring practices, yada, yada, yada. If you want to read that one yourself, just go to the Daily Wire and actually, I'll just copy and paste it in the chat if you guys want to send that to your friends and family. Remember, yeah, it's all fake. That's art. I actually made this whole website to look like the Daily Wire, and I pulled it out of my you-know-what. It's all fake. Yep. Well, let's get into a little bit of different news other than maybe the wildfires themselves. You got Joe Biden. And Democrats are believing him, saying that he does not plan to pardon himself. Shit. Where have we heard Joey say this before? Where have we heard Joey say he's not going to pardon his son? Just over the last 3 years, as his son's committed crimes. So Joe tells us, so does his press secretary, Karine Jean-Pierre, that Joey's not going to pardon Hunter Biden. And what does he do? He pardons Hunter Biden. Blanket pardon, which is, in my understanding, I've still tried to look, and if somebody can correct me in the chat, I will eat my own words. It's never happened in the history of this country that somebody got like a full-blown blanket pardon. It's happened to like a group of people, but even that blanket pardon was for one specific crime, I believe. I can't remember the group. I don't think it's ever happened. He's the first person to ever do it. For even crimes that he may have committed, this dude legitimately could have been a serial killer. I'm not saying he was. He could have been, though. And Joe would have just completely swiped the board for him. The guy could have been the Zodiac. You know what I mean? Just going around. He's fine. So Joe claimed on Friday that that as his failed presidency comes to an end, he has no plans to pardon himself. We'll see about that. I don't know. So here's Joey. Upright, which is a miracle.
Pardons. Have you ruled out a pardon for yourself or any other additional members of the family?
For myself?
Yes, sir.
Well, what did I pardon myself for?
That's what I'm asking.
No, I have no contemplation of pardoning myself for anything. I didn't do anything wrong.
I'm going to play that last bit again.
Contemplation of pardoning myself for anything. I didn't do anything wrong.
I didn't do anything wrong, which implies that you pardon your son because he did what? He did something wrong. And Joe, you did something wrong. It's just this not working correctly, okay? We're all here to tell you did probably something wrong. And I'm saying allegedly, probably because, well, you know. And, well, here's the White House press briefing from that. I feel like we haven't done a White House press briefing in a while. We got to do one soon, you guys. It's my last time to really work the stage with Karine Jean-Pierre here and just...
Interview with the USA Today earlier this week, the president talked a bit about preemptive pardons, saying that they are still potentially on the table. Can you speak a little bit about the scope that he is considering when it comes to that, and if he's any closer to it?
So we have been saying that the president will have more to say, more to announce on pardons and commutations. So that is, we have 10 days to go. So certainly that will be very soon that we'll make those announcements. I'm not going to get into the scope. I'm not going to get ahead of the president, but we will be making some more additional announcements on pardons and commutations.
This is in a professional setting, right? I'm going to do it on how casual Joes might say it. No, we still have 10 days left. We're going to freaking pardon the shit out of this. The dude's done more pardons than any president in American history. I know this is why. I'm fully aware that when I say things, you go, Brad, you keep saying certain things. Like I say, for example, well, they're going to sit there and do that. That's a thing that I do as a filler. It's my fault. But when I do say that this never happened in the history of this country, I understand that keeps arising. That's because it's true. Like Joe Biden shattering records after records. Yeah, that's never happened in the history of this country. This guy has done things that have never even existed since the inception this great nation started. Nobody's come close to Joe in pardons. The dude is a mob boss, man. He's a mob boss. And by the way, Biden is here refusing to answer why he waited to issue new Russian sanctions that will increase gas prices. Well, let's find out. President Joe Biden refused to answer on Friday why he waited until the final days of his administration after he and Vice President Kamala Harris both failed to defeat President-elect Donald Trump during his last years in the election to enact new sanctions against Russia that he himself acknowledged will do what? Raise the price of gasoline. You want to know why he's doing this? Because it's the double middle finger to you and I and Donald Trump. CNN report the new sanctions targeting Russia's oil industry were some of the highest and harshest sanctions to date, meant to cut off funding for Moscow's war against Ukraine. A report asked Biden at a press conference regarding this. And the sanctions are imposed today because they will have profound effect on the growth of Russia's economy and make it more difficult for Putin to conduct his wars. Biden said in avoiding answering why he waited to issue the sanctions just a few days before Trump takes office. We know why. The sanctions target at Russia's largest oil companies and hundreds of oil-carrying vessels, including those that are covertly carrying oil to avoid sanctions. The Biden administration said that the sanctions will cost Russia upwards of $1 billion per month. So we got to deal with him selling off the border wall, increasing our gas prices, and he's been holding off on doing this. But remember, he's been harsh on Russia, you guys. Yeah, he's been doing everything he can to solve the issue and make things tough for them. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I appreciate you guys hanging around. If you hit that like button, it really does support us, folks. And also, here's some goodies for all of you. Are you ready to show your support and style? Sticker Mule has a fantastic offer just for you. For a limited time, you can grab free Trump stickers. So if you hung around and you're still here, it is free, okay? This is not a gimmick. It's not like, oh, they're going to get you somewhere. It's free. There's free Trump stickers. Yes, you heard that right. I'm going to say this again, free. Whether you want to decorate your laptop, car, or home office, these high-quality durable stickers are perfect for making a statement. Just imagine how great they'll look, and they're super easy to apply. Here's how it works. Just head over to stickerpack.com. We've plugged them before. They've done a sponsorship here. Now they're giving away free stuff once again. Sign up and claim your free stickers and watch the fun unfold, folks. Go to stickerpack.com. Don't miss out on this exclusive offer. Stock is limited. These things freaking go fast, man, whenever we do free stuff. Spread the word and let your voice be heard with Sticker Mule's awesome stickers. Remember, even if you don't want them, they're a great gift idea. So once again, visit stickerpack.com today and grab your free Trump stickers before they are gone. Running like hotcakes. Well, that is today's episode, folks. Joe is a mob boss. We still had a few things to go over, but I'm not saying they were unimportant, but going over the Democrats blaming everybody and everything else for what's taking place here in the state of California rather than themselves is going to be a continuing trend. We will be back here tomorrow. We will be live pretty much all day on Monday for the inauguration. I just want to be clear on that. I will be here all day live streaming the inauguration. It's going to be the freaking greatest day we've seen in quite some time. So I would love for you to join us that morning and afternoon whenever he's actually doing the oath of office. And, that being said, head to baldbrad.com, all that stuff. And if you guys are in other people's live chats, tell them to check out the Bald Brad Show. Also, something that also does work, if you want to do it, please don't feel like you have to. If you email other people's podcasts and say, hey, you should have Brad Roberts, host of the Bald Brad Show, on your podcast, blah, blah, blah. That helps as well. The reason why I want to bring that up is somebody did that to my channel early on, where he had his subscribers email me, but also leave me comments on my videos. And his name was, oh my God, I'm blanking on his name now. Wow, I'm blanking on his freaking name. Anyways, I had him on my podcast when I had like 100 subscribers, and he was like the top artist in the world and really well known, had a bunch of followers on Instagram and all those other things. But his crew, his people emailed me and also left me comments. And so it was brought to my attention that way. So if you want to do things like that, you can. Don't feel like you have to. And with that being said, folks, I will see you next time tomorrow morning here, 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on the Bald Brad Show. Take care, Patriots.